The day started like any other on Earth. People went about their daily lives, unaware that everything was about to change. In New York, London, Beijing, and other major cities, people rushed to work. They talked about normal things, the weather, sports, and what to eat for lunch. No one knew that high above them, something strange was happening. In space, near the moon, a bright light appeared. It grew bigger and brighter. Soon, it was clear that it wasn't a star or a satellite. It was a spaceship, not just any spaceship, but one bigger than anything humans had ever seen or built. The spaceship was smooth and shiny. It looked like a giant silver egg. It moved slowly towards Earth. People started to notice it in the sky. At first, they thought it was a new star. But as it got closer, they realized it was moving. Panic began to spread. World leaders got together quickly. They didn't know what to do. Should they try to talk to the ship? Should they attack it? While they were still talking, the ship made the choice for them. The giant ship stopped high above New York City. A bright beam of light shot down from it. The beam hit the ground in Central Park. People ran away, scared of what might happen. But nothing bad happened. Instead, 3 figures appeared in the light. The figures were tall and thin. They had gray skin and big black eyes. They wore shiny suits that looked like they were made of metal. These were the ambassadors from the Galactic Empire. Police and soldiers surrounded the aliens, but the aliens didn't seem worried. They lifted their hands to show they came in peace. One of them spoke. Its voice was deep and seemed to come from everywhere at once. "People of Earth," the alien said, "we come from the Galactic Empire. We have watched your planet for a long time. We have a message for you. It is very important." The world held its breath. What would these aliens say? Would they offer to share their advanced technology? Would they invite Earth to join a galactic community? The alien spoke again. "Our message is simple. Stay on your planet. Do not try to leave. The universe is a dangerous place. You are not ready for it." People were shocked. This was not what they expected. The alien continued. "We have seen many young species like yours. They go into space before they are ready. They all die. We do not want this to happen to you." The other 2 aliens nodded. The first one said, "This is a warning. It is for your own good. Stay on Earth. Be happy here. Forget about the stars." With that, the aliens turned and walked back into the beam of light. In a flash, they were gone. The huge ship moved away from Earth. Soon, it disappeared among the stars. People on Earth were left confused and angry. Who were these aliens to tell them what to do? Many people felt insulted. Humans had already been to the moon. They had sent robots to other planets. How dare these aliens say humans weren't ready? Others were scared. If the universe was so dangerous, maybe the aliens were right. Maybe it was better to stay on Earth where it was safe. Debates started all over the world. Should humans listen to the warning? Or should they ignore it and keep exploring space? No one could agree. In a small lab in India, a young scientist named Dr. Aisha Khan watched the news about the aliens. She frowned as she listened to their warning. Something didn't feel right to her. Why would an advanced alien race care so much about humans staying on Earth? Aisha decided she needed to find out more. She didn't know it yet, but her curiosity would lead to a discovery that would change everything. The Galactic Empire's warning was not what it seemed, and humanity was about to prove that they were more ready for the universe than anyone, even the aliens, had thought. The world was in chaos after the aliens left. People everywhere talked about nothing else, in homes, offices, and on the streets. Everyone had an opinion. The big question was, should humans listen to the aliens or not? World leaders called for an emergency meeting at the United Nations in New York. Representatives from every country came. The meeting room was tense. No one knew what to do. The U.S. president spoke first. "We can't just sit here and do nothing," she said. "We have a right to explore space. It's part of who we are as humans. The Chinese premier disagreed. But what if the aliens are right? He asked. What if space is too dangerous? We could be risking the lives of millions. The debate went on for hours. Some leaders wanted to ignore the warning and continue space exploration. Others thought it was safer to stay on Earth. As the leaders argued, something interesting happened outside. People started to gather near the UN building. They held signs and chanted slogans. Some signs said, "Space is our right." Others said, "Better safe than sorry." The crowd grew bigger and louder. Police had to keep them back from the building. Inside, the leaders could hear the noise. An African president stood up. "Listen," she said. "Our people are scared and confused. We need to make a decision." Just then, a young woman entered the room. It was Dr. Aisha Khan, the scientist from India. She had been working nonstop since the aliens left. "Excuse me," she said. "I have something important to show you." The room went quiet. Dr. Khan pulled out a tablet and showed them a video. It was grainy and unclear, but everyone could see what it showed. There was a small object orbiting Earth. It wasn't a satellite or space junk. It was too smooth and round. "I think this is an alien device," Dr. Khan said. "It's been watching us. I found old videos that show it's been there for years." The room erupted in noise. If Dr. Khan was right, it meant the aliens had been spying on Earth for a long time. Why would they watch us if they just wanted us to stay home? Dr. Khan asked. "I think there's more to their warning than they're telling us." Her words changed everything. Now, the debate wasn't just about following the warning. It was about finding out the truth. The German chancellor stood up. "We need to investigate this," she said. "But we must do it secretly. If the aliens are watching, we can't let them know what we're doing." Most of the leaders agreed. They decided to start a secret global project. Its goal would be to find out why the aliens really wanted humans to stay on Earth. As the meeting ended, the leaders looked worried but determined. They knew they were about to start something big and possibly dangerous. Outside, the crowds were still shouting. News of Dr. Khan's discovery hadn't reached them yet. People were still divided about what to do. A group of students from a nearby university joined the crowd. They carried a big banner that said, "The stars belong to everyone." An old man saw them and shook his head. "You young fools," he said. "Don't you know it's dangerous out there?" As night fell, the crowd slowly went home. But the debate was far from over. All over the world, in bars and cafes, in online forums and social media, people kept arguing. Meanwhile, in a secret room below the UN building, Dr. Khan and a team of top scientists from around the world started their work. They had a big job ahead of them. They needed to uncover the truth about the aliens and their warning. As they worked late into the night, none of them knew that their actions would soon lead to an amazing discovery. A discovery that would change humanity's place in the universe forever. Dr. Aisha Khan and her team worked day and night. They were in a secret lab deep under the UN building in New York. The lab was full of computers and strange machines. Scientists from all over the world were there. They all had one goal: to find out the truth about the aliens. Aisha hardly slept. She spent hours looking at the data from the alien device they found in orbit. Something about it bothered her, but she couldn't figure out what. One night, when everyone else had gone to sleep, Aisha had an idea. She decided to look at the device's data in a new way. She used a special computer program to change the data into a 3D image. What she saw made her gasp. The image showed a map of the solar system, but it wasn't just any map. It showed paths going from Earth to other planets and beyond. These paths looked like roads in space. Aisha couldn't believe her eyes. She checked her work again and again. It was true. The alien device wasn't just watching Earth. It was mapping safe routes through space. She woke up her team. They all crowded around her computer, amazed at what they saw. "But why?" asked a scientist from Brazil. Why would the aliens map routes if they don't want us to leave Earth? Aisha had a theory. What if, she said slowly, the aliens aren't protecting us? What if they're afraid of us? The room went quiet. It was a big idea. If Aisha was right, it would change everything. The team worked faster now. They had a new goal. They needed to prove Aisha's theory. They looked at old space recordings. They found more alien devices. These devices were hidden. But now, the team knew what to look for. Then they made a huge discovery. Hidden behind the moon was a big alien base. It was invisible to normal telescopes, but the team had built a special one. The base looked like a giant silver spider web. Ships came and went from it all the time. The team watched it for days. "They're not just watching us," said a scientist from Russia. "They're studying us." Aisha nodded. "And they're scared of what they see." The team wrote a report for the world leaders. In it, they explained everything they had found. They also included Aisha's theory. The report said that the Galactic Empire had been watching humans for a long time. They saw how fast humans were learning and growing. The Empire was afraid that soon, humans would be strong enough to challenge them. That's why they gave the warning. They didn't want to protect humans. They wanted to keep humans weak and stuck on Earth. The world leaders were shocked when they read the report. They had a secret meeting to decide what to do. Some leaders were angry. They wanted to confront the aliens right away. Others were still scared. They thought maybe it was better to pretend they didn't know. In the end, they decided to keep the discovery a secret from the public. They were afraid people might panic if they knew the truth. But they also made another decision. They would start a new project. This project would help humans get ready for space. They would build better ships and weapons. They would train astronauts to be soldiers. All of this would be done in secret. The leaders hoped that one day, humans would be strong enough to stand up to the Galactic Empire. As the meeting ended, one leader asked Aisha a question. "Do you think we can do it? Can we really challenge an empire that rules the galaxy?" Aisha thought for a moment. Then she smiled. "They wouldn't be so afraid of us if we couldn't," she said. The leaders left the meeting feeling both excited and scared. They knew that humanity was about to start on a dangerous path. But they also knew they had no choice. The future of the human race depended on what they did next. The world leaders kept their secret well. On the surface, life on Earth went on as normal. People still argued about the alien warning. Some countries even pretended to slow down their space programs. But deep underground and in hidden places, a great change was happening. Operation Starburst, they called it. It was the biggest secret project in human history. Its goal was simple but huge: get humanity ready for space war. Dr. Aisha Khan was put in charge of the science part. She moved to a big underground lab in the middle of a desert. The lab was so secret that it didn't exist on any map. Aisha's job was to make new technology. She and her team worked on things that seemed impossible. They tried to make ships that could move faster than light. They worked on weapons that could hurt alien ships. But it wasn't easy. Many times, their experiments failed. Aisha often felt tired and scared. What if they couldn't do it? What if the aliens were just too advanced? One day, after another failed test, Aisha felt like giving up. She sat alone in her office, looking at a picture of Earth from space. Then she remembered why she was doing this. It wasn't just for science. It was for everyone on that blue planet. For their future. She took a deep breath and went back to work. While Aisha worked on tech, others prepared in different ways. In a secret base under the ocean, the best soldiers from around the world trained together. They learned how to fight in zero gravity. They practiced using new weapons that Aisha's team made. These soldiers came from many countries. At first, they didn't trust each other. But as they trained, they became friends. They knew that in space, old Earth fights wouldn't matter. They had to work together to protect their planet. One soldier, a young woman named Maria, was the best in her group. She could use the new weapons better than anyone. But at night, she often couldn't sleep. She worried about the aliens and the future. One night, Maria's commander found her practicing alone. "You should rest," he said. "I can't," Maria replied. "What if I'm not good enough when the time comes?" The commander smiled. "That's why we train," he said, "and why we do it together. No one has to be good enough alone." His words helped Maria. She realized that humanity's strength wasn't in one person, but in everyone working together. Meanwhile, in cities around the world, secret factories were built. They looked normal from the outside, but inside they made parts for spaceships and weapons. Workers in these factories didn't know what they were really making. They thought they were building normal things like cars or planes. The leaders also had a big problem to solve. How could they build a space fleet without the aliens noticing? They came up with a clever plan. They would build the ships in pieces in different places around the world. Then, when the time was right, they would put the pieces together in space. As months passed, progress was made. Aisha's team had some big breakthroughs. They found a way to make ships move very fast, almost as fast as light. They also made shields that could protect against alien weapons. The soldiers got better and better at space fighting. They used simulators to practice battles against alien ships. The secret factories made more and more parts for the real ships. But there were also problems. Sometimes people got close to finding out the secret. Once, a reporter almost discovered one of the underground bases. The leaders had to work hard to keep everything hidden. As the first year of preparation ended, humanity had come a long way, but they still had much to do. The Galactic Empire was huge and powerful. Earth was just one small planet. Yet there was hope. In labs, training grounds, and factories, humans were getting ready. They were becoming stronger, smarter, and more united than ever before. The aliens had told humanity to stay on Earth, but humanity had decided to reach for the stars instead, and they were determined to show the galaxy that they were ready. 2 years had passed since the aliens gave their warning. On the surface, Earth looked the same, but underground and in secret bases, something amazing was about to happen. Dr. Aisha Khan hadn't left her lab in days. She and her team were close to a big discovery. They had been working on a new type of engine for spaceships. If it worked, it would change everything. "One more test," Aisha said, her eyes tired but excited. Her team nodded, too nervous to speak. They turned on the engine. At first, nothing happened. Then, suddenly, the engine began to glow. It hummed softly, vibrating with power. Aisha checked the readings on her computer. Her eyes went wide. "It works," she whispered. Then louder, "It works." The team cheered. They had done it. They had created an engine that could move a ship faster than light. It was the key to exploring the galaxy. Aisha called the world leaders right away. "We're ready," she told them. The leaders met in secret. They knew this was a turning point. With this new engine, humans could travel anywhere in space. They could stand up to the Galactic Empire. But they had to be careful. If they moved too fast, the aliens might notice. They made a plan. They would build their first real spaceship in secret. Then they would show the world what they had done. Over the next few months, parts were sent to a hidden base on the moon. Brave astronauts, acting like they were on normal missions, brought the pieces up one by one. On the moon, far from the aliens' watching eyes, the ship came together. It was beautiful. Shaped like an arrow, it shone silver in the moonlight. They called it the Starburst. Inside the Starburst, everything was new. Aisha's engine sat at its heart. The controls were like nothing seen before. It had powerful weapons and strong shields. As the ship was finished, the leaders chose a crew. The best pilots, soldiers, and scientists were picked. Among them was Maria, the young soldier who had trained so hard. The day of the launch came. The crew said goodbye to their families, pretending they were going on a normal space mission. Only they knew the truth. On the far side of the moon, hidden from Earth and the aliens, the Starburst waited. The crew boarded, their hearts beating fast. Captain Lee, an old astronaut who had flown many missions, sat in the commander's chair. "Ready?" he asked. Everyone nodded. The ship's engines started. There was no loud roar like old rockets. Aisha's engine was quiet. It just hummed softly. Slowly, the starburst lifted off the moon. It moved smoothly, climbing higher and higher. Soon, it was far above the moon. "Preparing for light speed," Captain Lee said. The crew held their breath. This was the moment of truth. Captain Lee pushed a button. For a second, nothing happened. Then suddenly, the stars outside seemed to stretch. There was a flash of light, and the starburst was gone. It had worked. The ship had jumped to light speed. In seconds, it was beyond Mars, then Jupiter. Soon, it was leaving the solar system. Back on Earth, in the secret control room, Aisha and the leaders watched. When they saw the ship jump to light speed, they cheered. Aisha had tears in her eyes. "We did it," she said softly. On the ship, the crew was amazed. They looked out the windows, seeing stars and space like never before. Maria touched the window, her eyes wide. "It's beautiful," she said. Captain Lee smiled. "It sure is," he said. "And it's all ours to explore." The starburst flew on, going deeper into space. With each moment, it was making history. Humans were no longer trapped in their solar system. They were free to roam the stars. But their journey was just beginning. Soon, they would face their biggest challenge. The Galactic Empire was out there, and Earth's secret was about to be revealed. As the starburst flew on, carrying the hopes and dreams of humanity, one thing was clear. The aliens had made a big mistake when they told humans to stay home. Because now, nothing could hold humanity back. The starburst flew through space, faster than any human ship before. Captain Lee and his crew were excited but nervous. They were heading straight for the heart of the Galactic Empire. "We're approaching the Empire's main space station," said the navigator. Everyone on the bridge held their breath. Suddenly, alarms started blaring. "We've been spotted," shouted Maria from her weapons station. Captain Lee stayed calm. "Remember our mission," he said. "We're here to talk, not fight." The crew watched as huge alien ships appeared around them. These ships were bigger than cities. They made the starburst look tiny. A voice boomed through the ship's speakers. It was the aliens. "Human vessel," it said, "you have entered restricted space. Turn back now or be destroyed." Captain Lee took a deep breath. This was the moment they had prepared for. He pressed a button to respond. "This is Captain Lee of Earth," he said. "We come in peace. We wish to speak with your leaders." There was silence. The crew waited, hearts pounding. Then the alien voice came back. "Follow our ships," it said. "Any wrong move and you will be shot down." The starburst followed the alien ships to the space station. It was enormous, like a metal planet. As they got closer, they saw thousands of ships coming and going. Inside the station, the human crew was led to a grand hall. It was filled with aliens of all shapes and sizes. At the far end, on a high platform, sat the leaders of the Galactic Empire. The main leader, a tall alien with shimmering skin, spoke. "Humans," it said, its voice echoing. "You were warned to stay on your planet. Why have you disobeyed?" Captain Lee stepped forward. "We came to show you that we are ready," he said. "Ready to join the galactic community." The alien leaders laughed. It was not a nice sound. "Ready," one said. "You are children playing with toys you don't understand." But Captain Lee didn't back down. "We understand more than you think," he said. He nodded to Maria. Maria stepped forward and activated a small device. Suddenly, a hologram appeared in the middle of the hall. It showed the alien base behind Earth's moon. The alien leaders stopped laughing. They looked shocked. "How did you find this?" the main leader demanded. "We found it because we are not children," Captain Lee said. "We are a species ready to take our place among the stars." The hall erupted in angry shouts. Many aliens wanted to attack Earth right away, but the main leader raised a hand for silence. "You have surprised us, humans," it said, "but you are still no match for our empire. Leave now, and we may spare your planet." That's when Dr. Aisha Khan's voice came through the starburst speakers. She had been listening from Earth. "We will not leave," she said, "and you cannot destroy us." A new hologram appeared. It showed Earth, but not as the aliens knew it. Now, there were defense stations in orbit. Hundreds of ships like the Starburst were rising from hidden bases. The alien leaders were stunned. They had not seen any of this. Their spy devices had been blinded by human technology. "Impossible," one alien whispered. But they could see it was true. In secret, humanity had built a space fleet to rival the empires. Captain Lee spoke again. "We don't want war," he said. "We want peace. We want to join you as equals, not servants." The main alien leader stared at Captain Lee for a long time. The whole hall was silent, waiting. Finally, the leader spoke. "It seems," it said slowly, "that we have underestimated you, humans." The tension in the hall broke. Aliens started talking excitedly. Some looked scared, others curious. The human crew breathed a sigh of relief. "We have much to discuss," the alien leader said. Perhaps it is time for the Galactic Empire to welcome a new member." As talks began between humans and aliens, one thing was clear. The universe would never be the same. Humanity had proved itself. They had faced the Galactic Empire and stood their ground. The warning to stay on Earth had backfired. Instead of keeping humanity down, it had pushed them to reach for the stars. And now, those stars were within their grasp. 1 year had passed since the confrontation with the Galactic Empire. Earth was a different place now. The secret was out, and the whole world knew about humanity's space adventures. In New York, a huge celebration was taking place. It was the anniversary of Earth joining the galactic community. People from all over the world had come to see something amazing. Dr. Aisha Khan stood on a stage in Times Square. She looked nervous but excited. Next to her was an alien diplomat, tall and blue-skinned. "Today," Aisha said, her voice echoing across the square, "we open Earth's first public spaceport." The crowd cheered. Behind Aisha, a massive building shimmered into view. It had been hidden by special technology. Now everyone could see it. It was a beautiful structure, a mix of human and alien design. From the top of the building, a ship took off. It wasn't just any ship. It was a passenger ship, ready to take ordinary people into space. As the ship rose into the sky, people watched in awe. Many had tears in their eyes. They were seeing the start of a new age. Meanwhile, in space, things were changing too. Captain Lee and the crew of the Starburst were on a new mission. They were exploring a distant star system, looking for new planets to study. Maria, now a senior officer, looked out the ship's window. She saw strange new worlds and beautiful stars. "I still can't believe we're out here," she said. Captain Lee smiled. "Believe it," he said, "and this is just the beginning." Back on Earth, in schools all over the world, children were learning about their new place in the galaxy. They studied alien languages and cultures. Many dreamed of becoming space explorers themselves. In a classroom in Tokyo, a young girl raised her hand. "Teacher," she asked, "can we visit alien planets?" The teacher smiled. "Yes," she said. "When you're older, you might even live on one." The children cheered. For them, the galaxy was full of exciting possibilities. But not everything was easy in this new era. Some people were scared of the changes. They worried about alien influence on Earth culture. In a small town in Brazil, an old man complained to his neighbor. "Things were simpler before," he said. "Now everything's changing so fast." His neighbor, a young woman, disagreed. "Change can be good," she said. "Look at all the new jobs the space industry has brought to our town." Slowly, even people like the old man were starting to see the benefits of Earth's new status. In the Galactic Empire's capital, things were changing too. The alien leaders had learned an important lesson from Earth. They now knew that small, young species could surprise them. The main alien leader spoke to its council. "We must change our ways," it said. "No more warnings to stay home. From now on, we welcome new species as equals." The council agreed. The Empire was becoming more open, more fair, and it was all because of humanity's determination. As the year ended, Dr. Khan found herself on the moon, looking back at Earth. Next to her stood Maria and Captain Lee. They had all become heroes, symbols of humanity's journey to the stars. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" Aisha said, looking at the blue planet. Maria nodded. "Yes, but now we have a whole galaxy of beautiful things to see." Captain Lee put his hands on their shoulders. "And we'll see them together," he said. "All of us, humans and aliens alike." As they watched, a fleet of ships rose from Earth. Some were heading to alien worlds for trade. Others carried scientists for research. And some were full of tourists, eager to see the wonders of space. Earth was no longer alone in the universe. Humanity had taken its place among the stars. The warning to stay home had led to the greatest adventure in human history. As the sun rose over Earth, casting a golden light on the planet, one thing was clear. The future was bright, filled with endless possibilities. Humanity's journey was just beginning, and the whole galaxy was waiting to be explored.